last year against Vancouver. Here's Marleau. He scores! Patrick Marleau scores his 500th National Hockey League goal.
The milestone number, 1,779, had its start here in Aneroid, Saskatchewan, population 50. This is the birthplace of Patrick Marleau, who owns that National Hockey League record for the most regular season games. Imagine if they counted every time he played, starting with the showdowns against his mom in the family kitchen.
In the kitchen, they had mini sticks, and they spent a lot of time shooting on one another. Sometimes they'd convince me to even get in there and be the goalie. We would wax the floor at that time, and they would help me make the floor shine. They would shine it up.
Talented as he was, Marleau spent much of his early career silencing skeptics. He ran into naysayers almost as soon as he traveled beyond his hometown.
One scout says, I wished I could see that Marleau kid get in the corners and be more aggressive. It kind of bothered me. I talked to this Greg Woods. I said, maybe Patrick, you should get Patrick to be more aggressive. He says, do you put a plow behind a racehorse?
Marleau's superstar potential grew undeniable by the time he was a teenager, and the Sharks took him with the number 2 pick in the 1997 draft.
It's been a dream of mine throughout the year, and it's just overwhelming. It's great.
Certainly the first thing that jumped out at you was his speed. I mean, he was powerful. It wasn't a guy that just moved his feet fast, it was power. And then he had a great release. I think those are the 2 things that jumped out at you right away.
A spectacular goal by Patrick Marleau!
The number 1 pick that year was a jumbo-sized prospect from Ontario.
I met Patty when we were both 17, I think. We played in a tournament for the Canadian team. I would always keep an eye on Patty, just as the same draft class, being 1 and 2, we always watched out for each other.
As his game evolved, Marleau learned to play more aggressively. The transformation began early in his pro career when Coach Darryl Sutter had tough guys like Mike Ricci and Brian Marchment teach the kid how to play with an edge.
If you're going to play for Darryl Sutter, you better learn to stick your nose in there. Patty would wonder why is he picking on me and everything, but it was because Darryl wanted him to get that in his game.
Marleau and Thornton were both full-fledged stars by the time they joined forces. The Sharks acquired Thornton in a blockbuster trade midway through the 2005 season that gave the franchise a dynamic 1-2 punch.
Patty was one of the only guys I knew on the team. All of a sudden, we're roommates right away. There was one of the lockouts that you could get your own room, but we just enjoyed our time together. So we overextended our stay as roommates, and we had a lot of fun together.
One key to Marleau's success and longevity is that he was always honing his craft. He pushed himself to get better and better every game, all 1,779 times.
He was a better player, like 8 years into his career, than even close to he was when he first turned pro. And you don't see that very often.
He's got Marleau in on a breakaway. He scores! That's 4 in the 3rd for Patrick Marleau.
Most nights he was the fastest player on the ice. He's 6'3", 220 pounds, and a guy that size shouldn't skate that well. You really had to pay attention because he played the whole 200 feet. He could play a lot of minutes. He was just a horse. He was never injured.
Marleau's 566 career goals ranked 23rd all-time. He scored another 68 goals in the playoffs, including one on May 8, 2010, that stands as Thornton's favorite.
We played Detroit in the playoffs, and it was in overtime. It was me and Patty was going down on a 2-on-1, and I slipped it over, and he buried it. And I remember just coming behind the net and just giving him a big bear hug. That, for me, was just Patty Marleau. When you needed a goal, he's there to perform.
Internationally, Marleau won gold medals while representing Team Canada at the 2010 and 2014 Winter Olympics. Marleau retired in 2021 after 20 seasons with the Sharks, 2 with Toronto, a cameo with Pittsburgh, before returning to San Jose for his final year. Fittingly, Marleau became the first Sharks player to have his number retired, as his number 12 jersey was raised to the rafters in 2023. It will serve as a reminder of a player who achieved greatness while maintaining the same values and humility he learned during those fierce hockey nights in the farmhouse kitchen.
Some players, you get the feeling it's a job for them, and never the case with this kid. This is a guy who just loved to play. Now you're back to that 17-year-old in the small town, right? He never lost, I'm sure, what he had as a kid growing up. I just want to play.
When you walk around the SAP Center and you see everybody's plaque, and now we're going to see Patty's. He's done a lot of hard work to get there, and he should be very, very proud.
As he's set to be enshrined, let's do something you've done many times before. Let's make some noise for Mr. Sharp, Patrick Marleau, as he enters the San Jose Sports Hall of Fame.